Hi, my name is Michelle Snyder. I'm a church consultant with Crow's Feet Consulting, and I live in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. As a church consultant, I travel around the country working with congregations, presbyteries, and even faith based nonprofits, helping them think about what it means to be the church in the world today. What does it mean to be the church for such a time as this? I was brought into your presbytery by your leadership at the beginning of this year. Actually, I've been working with you for about a year to help them think about how to best make use of some assessment tools through Holy Cow Consulting. Holy Cow Consulting, as a church assessment company, has been doing congregational assessments for about 30 years. And their tagline is better decisions in less time with more confidence. Philosophically, the understanding of using assessments of any kind are that we want to get the best information about where we are at a moment in time so that we can make the right decisions because we're making it with accurate information. We all know that in churches, sometimes a small handful of people are creating the story that we end up telling about ourselves, and it's only the opinions of a few. Sometimes we could get pretty accurate information, but in order to do it without doing an assessment, we'd have to ask every person in the church, and that's time consuming, onerous, and if you paid somebody like me to do it, it would be very expensive. And sometimes we intuitively might even know what needs to be done and what the true story is, but we would get pushback if we tried to make decisions based on it. And so we need some confirmation that's objective and outside of ourselves to help affirm what we already know. So we can make better decisions in less time with more confidence by using an assessment tool. The assessment tool through Holy Cow Consulting is primarily and specifically, it's looking at overall organizational health, but it does it by measuring congregational climate, congregational culture, as well as a number of other things. How we manage conflict, how ready we feel to do ministry, how we feel about worship, how far people travel to get to church, and on the list could go. It's an extensive assessment. It's about 85 questions, standardized so that it can be compared with the other churches in the database. It takes about 20 to 25 minutes for people to fill it out through SurveyMonkey online. And then a report comes back that's quite extensive. And then someone like me, at this point, it would be me, will come to your church and give you the results of your assessment. And then what I would do is help you think about how to make use of this data. We all know what it means to run an assessment that never gets used again. One of my convictions and assistance that I'm offering your presbytery is thinking about how we can make sure that doesn't happen. And so I've been working with your presbytery. We just ran a pilot where we ran the assessment in a handful of churches, got their feedback about how that experience was, and now the presbytery is ready to launch that into other churches. So I would encourage you to consider as a congregation the way that this assessment tool and the consulting that I bring with it might be helpful to your congregation. The primary ways we've used this in the presbytery so far have been around congregational vitality. So churches that are asking, who should we be into the future? Churches who are asking where we go next. Maybe some churches that are asking hard questions about what it means as we age and shrink. And some churches that are trying to capitalize on the opportunities of the COVID pandemic to move into some more creative ways of being church. Any of those are good opportunities or good reasons that you might think about bringing the cat to your church, where I can help you and we can help you think some of that through more extensively. The cat can also be used in churches in transition to help you think about where we are and what kind of pastoral leadership we might need as we move forward. The cat can offer a lot of pretty helpful information that you can use to fill out your church information form that goes into the system and begins your pastoral search process. So there might be other reasons you want to use it too, but those are the primary two. Just a couple minutes about what it takes to make the assessment happen. Your presbytery rep, as soon as this video gets turned off, will tell you more. But I like to say that it takes about 2 months from the time you make a phone call to me or to Susan or to somebody at the presbytery. It takes about 2 months before you have your results in hand. That's because you need to do some work advertising and promoting it to your congregation. You need to do some work getting clear about the email list of people that you want to send it to, the active members who can speak intelligently about what's going on in the life of the church. And then it takes about a month to run it and get the results back. And so as you think and plan about how you want to do that, I'm always happy to be a guide helping walk you through all of those steps. But I would also just give you that as a heads up that about 2 months is what it takes. And at the end of that 2 months, we would schedule a time for me to sit down with your session, your long range planning committee, whoever it might be, your PNC, if it's a case of pastoral transition, and go through the results. So I would love to work with you and your congregation. I already love your presbytery. It's been a real gift to get to know some of your churches, and I hope over the next couple years that we get to know each other. Have a great rest of your meeting.